So today what we have is an Ask Boost webinar. And what Ask Boost is it's really the research area in Boost Linguistics, in which what we do is we explore common practices in content and inbound marketing, and we really analyze them and perform research on them to help you utilize them for your own needs and purposes. And hopefully through that way, we can all become better marketers together by sharing and learning from this research. So what makes me so special that I'm able to share this information with you? Well, the certifications I have are inbound marketing, content marketing, email marketing, Google AdWords, Google Analytics, growth-driven design, and inbound sales as well. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/im/JEFNWK, or you can just search Jeff Nowak and look for the smiling face that you see here on the bottom right hand of the screen. So in 15 minutes, we will cover 6 things. First, we'll cover inbound marketing and a brief overview. Then we'll look at the goal of the attract phase of inbound marketing. Then we'll review the case study, which is the research behind today's webinar. And then we'll look to understand the results of the research, and then we'll learn to apply those results. And we'll wrap it all up with a Q&A session. If you're watching this after the fact that it happened, feel free to use my LinkedIn to connect with me and ask me questions. So really, what we've been understanding about emotion and its ability to affect content is that emotion can be your secret weapon to improve your inbound marketing tactics. Now, that could be maybe per month you have 100 inbound leads and you're looking to take that up to 200. Now, emotion might not get you there to 200 overnight, but it can certainly help you with incremental increases. I'm talking 5, 10, 15%, which could be massive changes in your quarterly sales. Or if you're looking to just start an inbound method for your company, what you can do is take emotion combined with all other methods and make sure that you're starting off as a professional and skipping the learning curve. So a little bit about the inbound methodology originally created by HubSpot. There's 4 different phases: attract, convert, close, and delight. Now, in each of these phases, customers will move through a different life cycle stage. They'll begin as strangers, to where they're just floating in the web with questions. Then they'll convert to visitors. From visitors, they'll convert to leads. From leads, they'll convert to customers. From customers, they'll convert into promoters of your brand. Think of someone who has a good dining experience at a restaurant and leaves a 5-star review on Yelp. Specifically today, we're going to focus on the attract phase, where you're taking strangers who are looking for information and converting them into visitors of your content or visitors of your website, maybe visitors of your YouTube channel, etc. So the big thing that we're going to focus on in attracting more strangers is getting ourselves in front of more strangers. And the way to do that is to get your content in front of more eyes. If you're currently attracting 10,000 people, let's get it to 20,000. Let's get it to 30,000. That's the way that you're going to bring in more strangers and convert them into higher percentages of visitors. So in order to understand this, we're going to take a look at a case study that Ask Boost did with Marketing Insider Group. The Marketing Insider Group is led by Michael Brenner, one of the top 3 Forbes content marketing insider. This company has the clients, big ones such as Adidas, Nike, consulting for SAP, and they also run a fantastic marketing blog that has a very large audience in which I myself also love to read and learn from. So what we did is we analyzed headlines, a randomly selected subset of headlines from the Marketing Insider Group blog. And our goal was to answer one question. By no means is it a simple one. Which emotion converts the most strangers into visitors? Again, which emotion converts the most strangers into visitors? So this is a pretty complex question because, again, our goal for the attract phase should be to get our content in front of as many eyes as possible. So really what we're looking for here is which emotion is going to help our content get the most amount of shares possible. So Phase 1 of the research was to analyze 100 randomly selected headlines for their emotion. Phase 2, collect social shares of each headline. So we were tracking the shares across Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Obviously, B2B and B2C outlets have a little bit different share rates, but we were taking all of them into account. So here's what we found out. When we analyzed headlines, they were put into 5 different subgroups. So there's anger, anxiety, joy, sadness, and disgust. So whenever a headline was predominantly an angry tone, the average number of shares was 83. Whenever a headline was predominantly an anxious tone or a fearful tone, the average number of shares was 65. Whenever a headline was predominantly joyful, the average number of shares was 137. For sadness, 53, and for disgust, there was no data in the subset for disgust. So, since we now can see that joy has the most number of shares, we wanted to break down joy a little bit more. So we went back and looked at the percentage analysis for each of the headlines with a joy rating. Now, anything between 0 to 50% for joy was getting around 127 shares on average. Anything with the joy rating between 51% and 74% was getting an average number of shares of 137, which is on par with the average number of joyful shares. Lastly, anything above 75 had an average number of shares of nearly 170, so by far the largest. We came to one conclusion. Joyful headlines were shared nearly 2 times more than other emotions. So, we found out that when you're looking to optimize your content for social shares to get more strangers' eyes onto it, optimize your headline for the emotion of joy. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do you check for something like joy? Emotions are very complex, and unless you have years and years of experience, it's very difficult to do. So the first way to do it is to edit, and edit some more. Typically, this practice is called wordsmithing. And if you're an editor who is very skilled with writing and editing text for emotion, you may already know how to do this, and that's fantastic. But at the end of the day, even your knowledge is still guesswork, and you have nothing to check to see if you're doing it correct. You just have your hunch and your previous experience. So option 2 is the Boost Editor. What the Boost Editor does is it analyzes text for emotion and then offers suggested changes to increase the target or the percentage score of your target emotion. So what we see here, what we have here is one of the headlines from the study. Now, this headline received 53 shares, which was way below the average. And we're about to find out why. So what we're going to do is we're going to optimize this headline for joy, because we're assuming, based off of this research, that if we had optimized this headline for joy before we had sent it out, it would have been closer to the average number of shares, which is 137. From 53 to 137 is a massive improvement. So let's optimize this using the Boost Editor. Why quality leads are expensive. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Boost Editor at boostlinguistics.com. I'm going to type it in. But first, you can actually see the article here, Why Quality Leads Are Expensive, on the Marketing Insider Group blog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Why Quality Leads Are Expensive. Very short. Next, I will analyze it. What the machine is doing is it's giving me a baseline analysis of my emotion. Now, when you see multiple emotions like this, it can mean that it is both angry and fearful, but it could just mean that the emotional spread is very wide and there's no singular focus on this text. So, how are we going to optimize it for joy? What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the joy speech bubble. Then, the Boost Editor will highlight words that it believes can be replaced with better changes for specifically the emotion of joy. So for quality, it recommends many things. Anything with a plus will increase our percentage score. I'll go with excellent. Next, why leads are expensive? None of these make sense, so I'll flip to the next category. Costly. Okay, so here we go. So I have eliminated all of the guesswork, and I've allowed the machine to guide me in my pursuit of increasing joy. Now, it makes sense. It's always worth a reread. So why excellent leads are costly? It makes sense. Very minor changes, same idea. I'm going to reanalyze. Perfect. Okay, great. So what we see here is that we've eliminated all the negative emotions, and we have taken it simply to change to joy, and it's been a dramatic change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. I'll send it back where it needs to go. So the point of this example is to make the assumption that if this article, the title would have been Why Excellent Leads Are Costly, we are going to assume that the social media shares and the overall performance of the article would have been better. Right back into the PowerPoint now. Okay, so right now I'm going to do the Q&A. I'll definitely skip over the Q&A for anyone who is watching this at a later date. But again, feel free to ping me at any time if you do need additional help. So again, you can email me, jeff@boostling.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, JEFNWK. Next time, what we're going to be doing is focusing on the convert phase. So how do you take those new visitors and turn them into leads? And how do I optimize my content for which emotion to produce the best results? So that's that. Next week, I'll make sure everyone who was invited to this webinar will be on the next one. I'll certainly send you an invite. Your digital copy will come out very shortly after this one, same day, I'm hoping. So earlier you saw me use a tool called the Boost Editor. You can start using this for free right now at boostlinguistics.com. Thank you very much to everyone for watching. I hope I helped you improve your inbound marketing and content marketing in the pursuit of having a brilliant content marketing strategy in which everyone else can learn from. Thank you. Have a great day.